Imagine this. You're in your 60s or 70s, you're still active, you want to play with your grandchildren, maybe even travel or dance like you used to, but you notice something frightening. Your arms feel weaker, climbing the stairs leaves you more tired, and your clothes start to feel loose around your muscles, not your waist. This isn't just normal aging, this is a condition called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. And here's the good news. There's an ancient grain, simple and affordable, that can actually help rebuild muscle fast and fight back against sarcopenia. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what grain it is, how it works inside your body, what science says, and how you can add it to your meals starting tomorrow. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Write in the comments how old you are. I want to know, are you in your 60s, 70s, maybe even your 80s? Let's build a community where seniors can support each other. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for weekly videos on health, nutrition, sleep, and habits after 60. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's talk about sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is one of the biggest hidden threats to longevity and independence. Starting around the age of 30, we begin to lose about 3 to 8% of our muscle mass every decade. But after the age of 60, that loss accelerates dramatically. By 70, some people have lost up to 30% of their muscle mass. Think about it. That RSS, like carrying around an invisible weight of weakness that makes every single movement harder. Why does this happen? Well, your body becomes less efficient at synthesizing protein, your hormones like testosterone and growth hormone decline, inflammation rises, and physical activity often decreases. Together, this creates the perfect storm for muscle breakdown. And the result? Weakness, falls, slower walking, loss of independence, and even higher risk of death. But here comes the fascinating part. Scientists are now discovering that certain foods, especially nutrient-dense ancient grains, have the power to reverse this process. Today we are focusing on one superstar, quinoa. Yes, quinoa, once considered the gold of the Incas, and now proven to be one of the most complete plant foods for rebuilding muscle. Why quinoa? Unlike most grains, quinoa is a complete protein. That means it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to build and repair muscle. Most grains, like rice or wheat, are low in lysine, one of the critical amino acids for muscle repair. But quinoa? It's loaded with lysine and leucine, the amino acid that directly stimulates muscle protein synthesis. Now imagine this. You're over 60, and every meal is an opportunity to either slow down muscle loss or rebuild your strength. Adding 1 simple cup of cooked quinoa gives you about 8 grams of high-quality protein, plus magnesium, iron, and vitamin B6, all essential for energy and muscle function. Let's look at the science. A 2018 study published in the journal Nutrients examined older adults who incorporated quinoa into their diets. The results showed significant improvements in muscle protein synthesis, especially when combined with light resistance exercise. Another study out of Brazil compared quinoa with rice and wheat, and found that quinoa not only provided more essential amino acids, but it also reduced markers of inflammation, another enemy of aging muscles. So here's the takeaway. Quinoa isn't just a trendy food. For seniors, it's a functional, almost medicinal food that can directly fight sarcopenia. Now let me ask you, have you noticed any muscle loss in yourself? Do you feel weaker or more tired doing simple activities like climbing stairs or carrying groceries? Share your experience in the comments. I read them all, and your story might help someone else realize they're not alone. But how does this actually work in your body? Let's break it down. When you eat quinoa, the amino acids are absorbed into your bloodstream. Leucine, in particular, acts like a key that turns on the muscle-building machinery inside your cells, something called the mTOR pathway. Think of it as flipping a switch. Your body goes from muscle breakdown mode, to muscle repair and growth mode. That's exactly what you need after 60 and done. And it's not just the protein. Quinoa is also rich in magnesium, which plays a huge role in muscle contraction and relaxation. Low magnesium, which is extremely common in seniors, can lead to muscle cramps, weakness, and fatigue. Quinoa also contains iron, which helps deliver oxygen to your muscles, and vitamin B6, which helps metabolize protein more efficiently. Together, these nutrients create the perfect environment for rebuilding strength. Imagine waking up in the morning making a warm bowl of quinoa porridge with berries and a drizzle of honey. Instead of starting your day with sugar and empty carbs, you're fueling your body with muscle-building nutrition. Or picture a quinoa salad for lunch with olive oil, beans, and vegetables. Simple, delicious, and powerful. Of course, nutrition is just one part of the puzzle. You also need movement, especially resistance exercise. But here's the beauty. When you combine strength training with foods like quinoa, the results are multiplied. In fact, researchers have found that older adults who consume high-quality protein within 2 hours after exercise see double the muscle gains compared to those who don't freaks and are fatigued. So if you want to not only stop sarcopenia, but actually rebuild muscle, here's a practical tip. After your daily walk or light exercise, make quinoa your go-to meal. And remember, this isn't just about looking stronger. Muscle is your longevity organ. It stabilizes your joints, protects your bones, improves your metabolism, and even lowers your risk of diabetes and heart disease. In other words, every bite of quinoa could be adding years of healthy, independent living to your life. In the next part, we'll go even deeper. I'll share patient stories, myths about protein in seniors, and exactly how much quinoa you should be eating. Stay with me and make sure you're subscribed, because this is just the beginning. Let's continue this journey into the fascinating connection between aging, muscle loss, and the foods you choose every single day. We already discussed how quinoa is a unique, complete protein among grains, rich in leucine and lysine, and how it activates your body's muscle-building switch. But let's go deeper, because understanding the why will help you stay consistent and motivated. First, let's talk about real people. I remember reading about a woman named Maria, 72 years old, who had been struggling with weakness and frequent falls. Her doctor diagnosed her with sarcopenia. At first, she thought her life of independence was over, but then she changed her diet, started eating quinoa 3 times a week in place of white rice or pasta, and combined it with light resistance bands. Within just 3 months, she reported not only feeling stronger, but also having fewer cramps, better balance, and even improved energy. Stories like Maria's show that change is possible at any age. And this is where I want to hear from you. Have you or someone you know felt that sudden loss of strength after 60? Have you noticed getting tired faster or having trouble carrying groceries? Write your experience in the comments below. It might inspire another viewer to take action today. Now let's address a big myth. Many seniors believe that they can't absorb protein as efficiently as when they were younger, so it doesn't matter how much they eat. While it is true that the body becomes less sensitive to protein intake, this doesn't mean it's useless. In fact, studies show that seniors actually need more high-quality protein per meal, not less. That is why quinoa is such a game changer. It packs a complete amino acid profile in a form that is easy to digest, especially for older adults who may not tolerate heavy meats well. Another myth. Plant proteins aren't as effective as animal proteins. For decades, people believed only meat, eggs, and dairy could build real muscle. But recent studies have challenged this idea. When older adults consumed quinoa combined with beans or lentils, their muscle protein synthesis was equal to or even higher than those who consumed only meat-based proteins, especially when paired with light exercise. The key isn't where the protein comes from, but whether it contains the right building blocks and how it's timed. Speaking of timing, let's explore this further. Your muscles are like sponges. After physical activity, whether that's lifting light weights, gardening, or even walking briskly, they become more receptive to protein. Nutritionists call this the anabolic window. For seniors, this window can last up to 24 hours, but it's strongest within the first 2 hours after exercise. So if you go for your morning walk or spend some time in the garden, that is the perfect opportunity to follow it with a bowl of quinoa salad or a warm quinoa stew. You're literally feeding your muscles at the exact moment they're ready to rebuild. And here's something even more exciting. Quinoa isn't just about protein. It also contains compounds called flavonoids, including quercetin and camphorol. These antioxidants fight inflammation and oxidative stress, which are two of the hidden drivers of aging. When your body is inflamed, your muscles break down faster, your joints ache more, and recovery takes longer. By calming inflammation, quinoa helps create a healthier environment for your muscles to thrive. Let's zoom out for a moment. Sarcopenia is not just about losing muscle, it's about losing independence. Weak muscles lead to falls, and falls are one of the top reasons seniors end up in hospitals. In fact, according to the World Health Organization, every single year around 37 million falls require medical attention worldwide, and seniors make up the majority of those cases. But here you be, sir, the hopeful part, studies show that building and maintaining muscle reduces the risk of falls by up to 40%. That means by simply making quinoa a part of your weekly routine, along with some gentle strength training, you are directly lowering your risk of life-threatening injuries. Let's talk about portion size. How much quinoa do you actually need? Research suggests that older adults should aim for about 25-30 grams of protein per meal to stimulate muscle growth effectively. Since 1 cup of cooked quinoa provides about 8 grams of protein, you may need to combine it with other sources. For example, quinoa with beans, nuts, or a small portion of fish can easily reach that 25-30 gram target. Think of quinoa as the foundation, and then build around it with other healthy protein-rich foods. Here's a sample meal idea. For breakfast, try quinoa porridge cooked in almond milk, topped with walnuts and blueberries. For lunch, a quinoa and chickpea salad with olive oil, lemon, and spinach. For dinner, grilled salmon with a side of quinoa and steamed broccoli. Not only are these meals delicious, but they also cover your protein, fiber, and essential micronutrients in a way that your body can actually use. Now let's bring in another patient story. Robert, age 68, had been retired for 5 years when he noticed he was losing weight, but not in a good way. His arms and legs were thinning, and he felt drained of energy. His doctor recommended a diet rich in plant proteins, and Robert started eating quinoa 3 to 4 times per week. Within 6 months, his muscle mass stabilized, and his energy returned. His wife even commented that he looked healthier and stronger than before retirement. Real transformations like this are powerful proof that food is medicine. At this point, you might be asking, why not just take protein supplements or shakes? That's a fair question. While protein powders can help, whole foods like quinoa offer a complete package. Along with protein, you get fiber for digestion, minerals for energy, and antioxidants for long-term health. Supplements can fill gaps, but they don't provide the synergy of nutrients that real foods deliver. Plus, for many seniors, digestion becomes more sensitive with age, and quinoa is easier to tolerate than some dairy-based protein powders. This is also where affiliate-friendly options come in. If you want to supercharge your results, consider pairing quinoa with omega-3 supplements. Omega-3s have been shown to further stimulate muscle protein synthesis in older adults, especially when combined with exercise. So, if you want an easy win, eat quinoa, move your body, and add omega-3s. And let's not forget one more benefit of quinoa. It helps regulate blood sugar. Many seniors struggle with insulin resistance or even type 2 diabetes. High blood sugar accelerates muscle loss and weakens your metabolism. Quinoa has a low glycemic index, meaning it doesn't spike your blood sugar like white bread or pasta. That makes it a safer carb choice that supports both muscle and metabolic health. Now, let me ask again. Have you tried quinoa before? Did you like it? How do you prepare it? Share your favorite recipes in the comments. Someone else watching might discover a new way to enjoy this grain because of your tip. As we move into the next part of this video, I'll be talking about how to combine quinoa with lifestyle habits, sleep, hydration, and exercise to create a full anti-sarcopenia plan. We'll also tackle some frequently asked questions, like whether it's safe to eat quinoa every day and how to avoid digestive discomfort. Stick around, because the final section might just be the practical roadmap you've been waiting for. We've already talked about why muscle loss, or sarcopenia, happens, and how quinoa stands out as one of the most powerful grains to fight back. But food is only part of the equation. In this last section, let's bring it all together into a lifestyle plan that can help you rebuild strength, protect your independence, and enjoy life fully after 60. Let's start with sleep. You may not realize it, but your muscles don't grow when you exercise. They grow when you rest. Sleep is the secret recovery zone where your body repairs muscle fibers and builds them back stronger. Unfortunately, many seniors struggle with poor sleep, waking up frequently, having trouble falling asleep, or not getting deep enough rest. Research shows that poor sleep is directly linked to faster muscle loss. So if you're over 60, you can think of sleep as your free, natural muscle-building supplement. How does quinoa fit into this? Quinoa contains magnesium and tryptophan, which both support relaxation and better sleep. Eating a small portion of quinoa in the evening, maybe as part of a warm vegetable stew, can promote deeper sleep cycles. That means you're not only fueling your muscles with protein, but you're also setting up your body for recovery overnight. Now, hydration. Did you know that even mild dehydration can reduce muscle strength by 10 to 15%? Seniors are especially vulnerable because the sense of thirst declines with age. That means by the time you feel thirsty, you may already be dehydrated. Quinoa helps here too, because it's hydrating once cooked and contains electrolytes like magnesium and potassium that help maintain fluid balance. But of course, you also need to drink water consistently throughout the day. Aim for about 1.5 to 2 liters unless your doctor recommends otherwise. Now, let's address one of the most common questions. Can I eat quinoa every day? The answer is yes. For most people, daily quinoa is not only safe but beneficial. It's gluten-free, easy to digest, and highly nutrient-dense. The only thing to keep in mind is rinsing quinoa before cooking to remove natural compounds called saponins that can cause bitterness or mild digestive discomfort. Once rinsed, it's gentle on the stomach. Another question I often hear, isn't quinoa expensive? Compared to white rice, yes, it can cost a little more. But think of it this way. Quinoa is not just a carbohydrate filler, it's a protein-rich, nutrient-dense food. That means you get more nutrition per bite and less need for expensive supplements or medications down the road. In fact, spending a few extra dollars on quinoa could save you thousands in medical bills. Let's move to exercise, because no matter how good your nutrition is, your muscles need to be challenged to grow. Now, don't worry, I'm not telling you to join a gym or lift heavy barbells. Even light resistance training with bands or body weight can dramatically slow sarcopenia. For example, doing simple chair squats, wall push-ups, or lifting light water bottles as weights can stimulate your muscles enough to benefit from the protein you're eating. And when you combine that activity with quinoa-based meals, you're giving your body exactly what it needs to rebuild. Here's a practical weekly plan. 3 to 4 times a week, do 20 minutes of resistance-based activity. Within 2 hours of finishing, eat a meal with quinoa plus another protein source like beans, fish, or chicken. Daily, drink enough water and aim for 7-8 hours of quality sleep. And remember, don't overcomplicate it. Small, consistent actions beat extreme programs every time. Let's bust another myth. Some seniors fear that eating more protein might damage their kidneys. If you have healthy kidneys, this is simply not true. In fact, the real danger comes from eating too little protein, which accelerates weakness and frailty. If you do have kidney disease, of course, follow your doctor's advice. But for most older adults, protein-rich foods like quinoa are essential, not harmful. Now let's talk about something inspiring. Scientists are calling muscle the currency of longevity. The more muscle you have, the longer and healthier your life is likely to be. Muscle helps regulate blood sugar, supports your immune system, improves balance, and even protects your brain. Yes, your brain. Studies show that seniors with stronger muscles have better cognitive function and lower risk of dementia. That means every bite of quinoa, every walk, every squat is not just for your body, but also for your mind. Let me share another story. Ellen, age 75, had been told by her friends that weakness and falls were just part of aging, but she refused to accept that. She started cooking quinoa 3 times a week, adding it to soups and salads, and she did simple resistance band exercises. After 6 months, she reported not only stronger legs, but also sharper memory and more confidence. When asked how she felt, she said, "I feel like I got 10 years of my life back." Stories like Ellen's prove that age is not the end. It's just the beginning of a new chapter if you make the right choices. Now let's address digestion. Some seniors worry that quinoa may cause bloating. This is usually due to not rinsing it properly or eating too much too quickly. Start with small servings like half a cup cooked and gradually increase. Pair it with vegetables and olive oil for better digestion. For most people, any discomfort disappears once the body adapts. At this point, I'd like to hear from you again. Have you ever had trouble with digestion when eating new foods? What has worked for you? Share in the comments. Your tip could help another viewer. Before we wrap up, let's talk supplements. While whole foods should always come first, certain supplements can boost your results. Omega-3 fish oil has been proven to increase muscle protein synthesis in older adults. Vitamin D is crucial for bone and muscle health, and magnesium supports energy and recovery. If you want to try some of these, I've linked my recommended options in the description below. These are simple, safe additions that pair perfectly with a quinoa-rich diet. So let's bring this all together. Sarcopenia is not destiny. It's not something you just have to accept. You have the power to fight it with the right foods, the right habits, and the right mindset. Quinoa is more than just a grain. It's a muscle-building ally, a brain protector, and a longevity booster. Combine it with sleep, hydration, and light exercise, and you create a formula for strength and independence at any age. As we close, I want to ask you one last time. Have you experienced muscle loss? Or maybe even a comeback story where you regained your strength? Share it in the comments. Let's build a space where seniors can learn from each other, celebrate wins, and find hope. And if this video gave you value, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss future episodes. We cover everything from sleep to vitamins to daily habits that make life after 60 healthier and stronger. Remember, aging is inevitable, but weakness is optional. With the right nutrition, like quinoa, and the right habits, you can stay vibrant, active, and strong for decades to come. Thank you for watching. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.